Tonight on KGW News, a neighborhood nuisance gone for now.
People on drugs with guns and stuff, you never know.
How lawmakers are now trying to make it easier to kick squatters out.
And across the Portland metro, thousands protested this May Day, a majority against the Trump administration.
I have a suspicion it's going to get uglier before it gets better.
A budget shortfall means more than 100 teachers in the Reynolds School District are facing layoffs, and the length of the school year could change too.
If nothing changes, this will be devastating for us.
And later, thieves rip off a business trying to give back.
To lose the art supply money, it means so much more.
As a community steps up to make sure kids don't lose out. Welcome to the news, and first at 11 on this Thursday, May Day rallies around the Northwest and across the country, which typically focus on labor and immigrant rights, took on a broader theme this year: peaceful resistance against the Trump administration and its policies. Alma McCarty's live tonight after watching two rallies, two of many that altogether drew thousands of people across the Portland metro. Alma?
Yeah, David, as many Portlanders know, this city is known for protesting, and today really was no different. However, while I was out, I met several people who had never participated in a May Day event before, but said that they were obligated, they felt compelled to come out and to say something.
Labor history is also a history of resistance.
From Vancouver to Portland, large crowds of demonstrators got loud and gathered together this May 1st.
I feel energized, to see this kind of participation and see how it's affecting everybody and everybody stepping up.
I feel safest here because I know these people have values that I respect.
Their signs and speeches sending clear messages, supporting workers, supporting immigrants, and strongly protesting the Trump administration and the slew of changes and actions over the past 100 days.
I have a hard time believing that my fellow Americans didn't see this coming.
Have to take a stand. I mean, we just have to we can't sit it out.
Longtime May Day attendees.
This one's really personal because Donald Trump has cut us veterans off at the elbows.
To first-time participants.
Everything's at stake. There's so much going on.
Expressing that now is the time to organize and act.
The real threat to workers is corporate greed, not immigrants.
We are feeling very tangibly and palpably right now those threats from the federal government.
We will not be intimidated by these tactics, and we will fight back.
Crowds dispersed following these peaceful protests with a vow to come back, saying their work isn't done.
I'm not here to make the rich richer. I'm here to have a good place for all of us. And that's what I believe we should have, and that's why I'm going to keep coming out here.
And as of just a couple of hours ago, Portland police reported that although they were on hand for several of these events and rallies, there were no injuries and no arrests. David, back to you.
Yeah, great to hear that everything stayed peaceful. Thanks, Alma. New tonight, President Trump has signed an executive order aimed at cutting federal funding to PBS and NPR. The administration says the outlets, quote, spread radical woke propaganda disguised as news, end quote. The broadcasters get roughly $500 million in public money through the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. They say they have been preparing for the possibility of cuts since the president was elected. Okay, now to a look outside on this Thursday night, Friday Eve, after another beautiful spring day, one that felt more like summer, though it turns out a bit of a change is now on the way. Let's check in with Matt Zafino with a first look at your weather impact forecast. Hey there, Matt.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day for sure, David. And there's the sunset for you. Not a cloud in the sky, not only from this view in Washington County from the Reserve Golf Course, but really from pretty much everywhere in Oregon except the extreme southern Oregon coast, and you can see what it did to the temperatures there in just a sec. We ended up at 84 degrees today in Portland, so well above the average, 5 below the record for the day. There's the cool spot, Brookings and Gold Beach, but Roseburg and Medford were at 86, so Portland really right behind them with the 84. We even had 70 at Tillamook, 81 at the Dalles, and 70s common throughout central and eastern Oregon. So the first 80-degree day this year was way back in March on the 25th. We've had 4 now. The average first date of 80 degrees in Portland is the 8th of May. So think about that. We did it like a month and a half earlier than normal. Only had one in April, got close another time, but only one 80-degree day last month and now another one here on the 1st of May. The average first day for 90 June 18th. Hopefully we can get closer to the average on that one before we see that kind of hot weather, right? Tomorrow, though, will be another beautiful day, mainly sunny. By 5 o'clock, the clouds are going to begin to thicken, and after sunset or so, we'll begin to see some showers roll on in. We'll have more on that for you, David, in a bit.
I think some folks are going to be happy to have it a little bit cooler. Thanks, Matt. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, a jury has found an Uber driver guilty of murder and attempted murder in a road rage shooting in downtown Portland. Jeffrey Hammond claimed he shot and killed Ryan Martin, who confronted him over parking in 2023 in self-defense. He also shot a witness who recorded the shooting on his phone. Last year, a jury deadlocked on those 2 counts, forcing a judge to declare a mistrial. But today, after a new trial, the new jury unanimously found him guilty.
Watching them testify and sob about what they saw, watching jurors sob as they gave their verdict, it just shows how brutal and how horrific this incident was.
Hammond is scheduled to be sentenced in June. In Clark County, the sheriff's office says the former interim chief of the Cowlitz Tribal Police, who died by suicide last week, was under investigation for alleged sex crimes against a child. Charles Gardner was found dead inside a car last Wednesday after what was reported as a burglary in Vancouver. Today, the sheriff said it was not a burglary, and the 911 caller says they got into a fight with Gardner after discovering him in their home. Investigators haven't released details about the alleged sex crimes and say they are being investigated separately. And Portland police have identified the man who was shot and killed near the South Waterfront. He is 44-year-old Joshua Manahan of Portland, they say, and was found shot near South Harbor Drive and Harrison Street late Sunday night. Manahan was taken to the hospital where he later died. No word from authorities on any suspects or arrests. To Northeast Portland now, where a family says it is feeling relieved this evening after the home next door to them was raided by police. As we reported last night at 11, authorities say they removed more than a dozen squatters from a home on Northeast 102nd in Parkrose and arrested most of them. According to police, multiple people overtook the residence after the homeowner had to move due to medical reasons. Officers say those squatters have been involved in criminal activity, including drug dealing. Now a bill making its way through the Oregon legislature could change the laws around squatting, allowing landlords to remove squatters in 24 hours, even if there are no signs of forced entry. It's a process that currently takes much longer.
Landlords will be able to go through that ejectment process and be able to remove squatters from their property.
It's been kind of scary because our room is pretty close to the property line, and so that has kind of worried me, you know, people on drugs with guns and stuff, you never know. It's just a couple walls in between us.
Yeah, you never know. Authorities tell us they've been able to contact the property owners and they have worked together to secure that home. New at 11, the Reynolds School District is facing major cuts, and they could mean a shortened school year for students and more than 100 layoffs. As Catherine Cook reports, it's all part of a whopping 20% budget cut, and teachers spoke out against it tonight.
A public plea
full funding public education, now's the time.
For public education. Teachers in the Reynolds School District are looking down a $25 million budget cliff for next year. At stake, 118 full-time equivalent teaching positions. They'll know their fate May 12th.
When a bunch of people get either a letter laying them off or a involuntary transfer, it's going to be about 150 total people here in Reynolds.
Jeffrey Fuller is a social studies teacher at Reynolds High School. He's also president of the Teachers Union. He notes several reasons for the district's budget fate outlined in this letter from the superintendent. The main factor? Enrollment. When it drops, so does state funding. In the last decade, enrollment in the Reynolds School District has dropped by around 2,300 students. Other factors include PERS costs, the cost of labor agreements, and inflation.
We need the legislature to recognize how bad this really is.
During Thursday's budget meeting, teachers expressed worry over how the cuts might impact students, especially when it comes to special programs like English language development. That's what Jessica Cantu teaches.
With teaching English to students who are in the very foundational stages of learning, it's really important that they have small class sizes so that they can get the individualized attention they need. So, yeah, there's a lot of danger of them having huge class sizes next year.
In addition to those budget cuts, district officials are asking teachers to take 10 furlough days. For some, that's about a month's wages.
It's going to hurt, and a lot of people, it's going to hurt their retirement if it's their last couple of years. There's a lot of young teachers who are near the bottom of the pay scale who are going to struggle to pay rent.
All in a school district serving one of the most ethnically diverse and socioeconomically challenged populations in the state.
This is, if nothing changes, this will be devastating for us.
In Troutdale, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Well, to Cascade Locks now, where thieves ripped off a local school fundraiser. Let's explain here. Buddy's Arcade owner Albert Nance started raising money to buy art supplies and donate them to Cascade Locks Elementary. It's the only elementary school in town. But sometime between Sunday night and Monday morning, someone broke in. They took a register with petty cash and, more importantly, an envelope filled with donations for the art fund.
To me, to lose the art supply money, it means so much more, because the art supplies mean that these kids get to go and make drawings, and they get to paint things, and they get to use their creativity, and they get to bring that home to their parents and to their families.
Since the break-in, people in the community have donated several $100s to restore that art supply fund, helping put a smile on Nance's face.